Keith, what up? Sorry I'm so late. One of my guys, one of my former guys, is injured himself. He's in the hospital, worried about him. I don't want to say his name. But anyway, Keith, I started watching the Dexter. So on Prime, there's only 6 episodes. Is there more than that? Or is that just all you're allowed to see on Prime? Because I'm already 3 episodes deep, so I'm already halfway through with it. Anyway, it's cold down here. Oh, thank you, Badabuco. Yeah, so we put out the video a day late. I apologize for that. You know what? Everybody in my circle was really caught up with the inauguration stuff. And also, it being a federal holiday for Martin Luther King Day, it was kind of people were all over the place, so I was like, we'll just put it up a day later. It's not like I'm, in such top demand that anybody's going to be freaking out over the video being a day late. But anyway, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. People have asked for us to do a calf training video. Also, the thing is, all I have in my gym is a standing calf raise. Although I could show exercises to do on the leg press for calves. But it'd be a pretty basic video if we did that. Still could be done. I have an idea for a funny video that we're going to do today. We're going to go over to this really awesome cookie shop in Boca called Just Baked. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had Just Baked cookies before, but I've known those guys for years. Not on like a, buddy level, but back in the day, one of my sales reps, Sammy, he was friends with those guys when they first started. And they were like doing all kinds of like fun stuff for us. They made us like a birthday cookie cake one year. And we were giving them protein, and they were making protein cookies and whatnot. And they've actually had a lot of success. So Chris Luke's not gaining the way that I want him to. So I was thinking about, I told those guys I thought it'd be funny if I brought him in there and bought him some cookies. And really, it's just an excuse for me to go in there and get some really good cookies. But anyway, cardio every day is great. Thank you. I don't smoke meth. I shoot it. It's 4 degrees Fahrenheit in Eastern Europe, icy as hell. Yeah, so it's cold, guys. It's cold. I don't like it. Some people down here like it. I don't get it. They're like, oh, it's cool. We can wear jackets. I mean, I moved here because I didn't want to wear jackets. So it's like 50-something. It says with the wind chill, it feels 48. It's supposed to get colder as the week goes on down here. For Florida's terms, the poor iguanas are frozen. But at least I'm not in one of these places that's freezing. Remember when everybody made such a big deal about global warming and the world was heating up and the ice caps were melting? Now we have snow in New Orleans, which is crazy. I don't smoke meth, I shoot it, I'm taking the Dust pre-workout, good stuff. Which one are you taking? You taking the strong one, Dust X? Or the Dust Reloaded? I'm gonna bust the scale out on him, Luke. I might bring the scale with me today. I thought he'd be up to 200 pounds by now, but I don't think so. Man, I'm gonna tell him about the Bertle Fox again, Badabuco. That would be a great one to see. My good friend, Dr. Nick, who's really done so much for me to help me out over the years, used to train with Bertle Fox. That was his training partner. And, you know, one of the best to ever do it, man. Good morning, Vine Slug. Trump. What team do I support? Well, unfortunately, I grew up being a Jets fan, which is a terrible team to be a fan of. So I've always been a Jets fan. I grew up a Knicks fan, although I'm not as into basketball as I used to be. The sport that I watch the closest is UFC. Nathan, what up, brother? Good. I'm glad that you enjoying the Dust. No notification, huh? Are you guys getting any notifications or what? I'm curious. Yes, Nick said, Badabuco, he said he was very strong and he had a crazy recovery. Could just do volume and just keep coming back with it. You know what? I didn't even notice that about the Jets. To be honest with you, I haven't been really up on too much with the NFL right now. I kind of bailed out on the NFL as the season went along, and the Jets were just a major disappointment this year. I haven't really caught much of the playoff stuff. Keith, I am watching, so I already watched the, the 10 years later, when the kid came looking for him. I finished that, so now I'm watching the prequel. Golden Age of America, baby. Isn't it amazing how differently people see things? It's incredible how differently people see things. You've got people celebrating and happy and excited, seeing things in action. I will tell you personally, I'm very happy to see a lot of the people that were pardoned from January 6th. That was a crazy situation that a lot of people got put in prison for. That it's crazy the punishments they got. I was actually, I was in lockup in Atlanta in the holdover prison with a guy. This guy was lifetime, clean record, never did anything wrong. And he was there with his wife, who was a school teacher, just peacefully being there. And when shit got out of hand, his wife got caught up in the mix. And protecting his wife, he punched an officer that was roughing him up. And, this was all in front of the White House. Well, they sentenced him to domestic terrorism crime. And he got 5 years in prison for that, which is crazy. 5 years in prison, crazy. So, whew. Anyway, so some of you guys are getting the confirmation, some of you are not. It's so interesting the way that things work out. So interesting. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's a setting that we have to hit. I'm really not sure. Hopefully everybody starts getting them. I am late. I'm sorry that I'm late. I've been moving a little slow today. Let's see. Bolshoi Kush, Love Affair, Everlasting Love, or Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be in love. I'm going Tom Jones on that one. Back to Tom Jones again. Okay, lineup time. Who we got? Jay Cutler, Sean Ray, Chris Cormier, Gaspari, Vince Taylor. Last to first. Last Gaspari. I'm going to go last Gaspari, then Vince Taylor. And really, what holds Vince Taylor back is his legs were not as impressive as his upper body. The upper body, truly phenomenal. Truly phenomenal upper body. Not as good down below. His upper body is right up there with the best to ever do it. Vince Taylor. So, you know, when you're looking at complete packages, you know, if you take Sean Ray beats Vince Taylor, I think, any day of the week. Now, if we take Sean Ray at his best and Chris Cormier at his best really, really on, which hasn't happened a bunch of times, I'm giving Chris Cormier the edge. In that one, he's got height. Chris was really good, man. Chris was really good. I think that Chris is underappreciated and respected how good of a bodybuilder he was, because, you know, a lot of people talk about his shenanigans and whatnot, and you know, Chris is actually an awesome guy. You know, when I got out of prison, he was one of the first people to reach out to me, send me a really nice voice note, welcome me back and what. I appreciate that a lot. So, man, it's tough. It's tough. But Jay, at his best, at his biggest and hardest, I still have him first. There's not that many people that I will have above Jay. You know, obviously Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, guys like that, of course. I don't know. Who do you guys... Here's an interesting one. Dorian or Cutler? Who wins? Both of them at their best. Kendall's Life, what up? Bolshoi Kush, the B-52's Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Or Nina, 99 Red Balloons. Oh, man, that's a good song. That song gets me fired up. I'm going 99 Red Balloons on that one. Hanson, bop. Or Crash Test Dummies. Crash Test Dummies. Once there was this boy who got into an accident and couldn't go to school. Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of division when it comes to Cutler versus Dorian. You know, Dorian had a level of graininess that I don't think Jay maybe ever achieved that level of graininess. However, Jay definitely had the mass, I would say, on the frame, the freakier mass, although Dorian was huge. Jay's roundness. Jay, better legs. Dorian, better back. I say Jay, better arms. Tough. You know, Dorian, as good as he was a little on the hamstring dominant side. You know, great side poses and freakiness. Great hams from the back. The quads from the front were not as freaky. Part of that, though, also because of how massive his upper body was, too. ...2002 Cutler was crazy year, yeah. But conditioning standpoint, Dorian was on one of the highest levels ever to do it when it came to conditioning, for sure. You know, the crazy thing is, guys, somehow, and I think it's truly just a genetic gift, Ronnie Coleman was able to achieve that conditioning with all that freaky muscle and still seems so freaking full. Ronnie Coleman, with all that mass, has gotten on stage multiple times with just crazy detail everywhere, man. Crazy deep separation and detail that very few people have that. You know, Dorian, I think, was able to put himself through an intense level of suffering to get to where he got to. Bolshoi says, Dorian, 96, beats Cutler 2001. Easy. Cutler never got his back shredded. It was definitely softer in the back. You're right. You're right. It took a while for him to nail that back there. Now, I'll tell you guys, I never got to see Dorian on stage slightly before my time, where I've seen Ronnie Coleman at his best on stage, and to this day, I've never seen anything like it. And I've seen great bodybuilders. I've seen Phil Heath on stage. I've seen Sean Roden on stage, and I've seen a lot of the guys on stage. And to this day, there's nobody that did it where I was just mind blown when Ronnie Coleman came out on stage. This is the reaction that you get, and I've spoken about this with a lot of people. A really good bodybuilder comes out on stage, they captivate you. You're like, wow. When Ronnie Coleman would come out, I would just start laughing. And you notice a lot of other people are laughing too. He causes a hysteria of laughter. It happened to me numerous times where he came out and I just start laughing because you can't believe that somebody looks like that. It's so freaky. It's so freaky. Everyone says Dorian had weak quads. Are you kidding me? Grand Prix 95 in Europe, Dorian Teardrop is the best on stage. I don't know, man. I thought Dorian had an under-impressive shape to his quads. They were thick, and he did get them separated. They were very, 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 his legs were massive from the side in the side poses. Tremendous legs from the side. Oh man, Marcus Rule. I loved Marcus Rule. He just had a really freaky, freaky look. Kevin Chaffant, hold on to the Vision or Michael Cimbello. He's a maniac on the floor. Cimbello, I never would have known that that's who sings that. Great movie though, Flashdance, right? I guess we gotta go Maniac on that one. The Martian, okay, or Total Recall. Well, man, I think The Martian's a better movie, but man, I love Total Recall. I love Total Recall. What about the Total Recall remake? Have you seen that? It's interesting when they remake certain movies with completely different actors, like very, very different style actors in those roles. Gunter Slurkin 2003 was solid too. Gunter was great, very balanced, very aesthetic, had the height. RoboCop versus Total Recall. I think RoboCop is an underappreciated movie. I'm still going Total Recall for the girl with the 3 boobs, though. You got 3 boobs in the movie. Back then, I remember as a young man, that was really, really mind-blowing to see that. Total Recall, Colin Farrell was based. Same director, wow. Yeah, RoboCop was a really, I loved RoboCop when I was young. That was an under-respected movie for what it was, especially at the time. Let's see, what else do we have? So we've got all kinds of stuff going on these days with the presidency and pardons and what else is going to happen, and that's the talk of the internet right now. You have people are saying that Elon Musk is a Nazi. I've seen that story all over the place. John Braun found Sean Ray in the gym. He was 16, and John Braun said he had to train him. He'd never seen such amazing genetics. Yeah, you know, when you look at pictures of Sean Ray at 18 years old, it's incredible how good Sean Ray already was at an 18-year-old teenager. Incredible. So there's been 2 people that have had an effect like that on me. The first time was Cody Montgomery. So, and I'll tell you about Cody Montgomery. So I'd seen pictures of him, and I'm going to be really honest, guys. You know, my initial reaction was, damn, this kid's juiced up pretty hard for a young man. You know, like you don't see that a lot. There's been some good teen champions before, but I'm being honest, my initial thought was like, wow, I wonder what this kid's taking, you know, at only 18 years old. Now, that might have being overly judgmental of me, but it was really the hardness that he displayed where I was like, you know, what's he on trend? You know, I don't know, right? So when people were saying that he had what it took to go in and win USA's so young like that as a teenager, whatever, I was like, there's just no chance in hell. And when he came down to Florida, in clothing, was not impressed. And then he said, hey, will you take my progress pictures to send to Chris Aceto? He was 7 weeks out from USA's. And we went over to the Busybody Gym on Glades Road in the morning. I picked him up. I took him over there. He was in his sweats. He took his clothes off. And, you know, he was in, like, boxer briefs. He wasn't in posing trunks. Man, when he started posing, I could not believe the separation that he had everywhere. The quality separation and detail that he had. And I told Aaron Singerman, I called him, and I said, man, this kid's going to win USA's, 100%. He said, really? I said, yeah, man, I cannot believe the quality muscle this kid has. And he's 7 weeks out looking like this. He's going to be absolutely peeled at USA's, and he just has really, really damn good muscle separation everywhere. And that was what made us want to sign him, and sure enough, he went on and he won USA, the youngest USA winner ever. So that was the first time I had ever felt like that over somebody that was essentially a kid. And the second time was with Keon. I remember first watching Flex take Keon and Sammy through a workout. And it was interesting because Keon, like, he didn't have the form on a lot of stuff. The positioning, you could see it was just so new to him. But he had a gear, another gear that you could just kill him in the gym and he was going to keep on going. So I remember thinking, because Sammy had been training for years, and Sammy trained hard, man. And Sammy was like, man, I'm having a hard time. This kid is a monster. And I'm like, and this kid is drug-free. What? When they started posing, it was so interesting. Because he didn't even know how to pose or do anything, really. He couldn't hold the poses. But every time he would hit one, you were like, whoa. And I was like, bro, this kid is unbelievable. He doesn't even know how to pose. He could go in and get up and get in shape and start winning shows. He's that raw to it. So that was a completely different experience where I was really, really mind blown like that. Let's see here what I've missed. Did you know that Sting's song, Russians, that was released in 1985 about nuclear war inspired James Cameron for creating Terminator? I did not know that. Very good bit of trivia there. You're right though, PJ. Everyone in the fitness industry was scared to post about Trump. Yep, it's true. I had a lot of people hated me for no reason all these years over this stuff. Scorpions, Big City Nights, or Kiss. Look it up. I like Scorpions a lot. I'm going Scorpions on that one. Singerman and Rob Bailey went to D.C. to witness inauguration. Yes, I saw that they were there. I heard they were out in the cold for a while, but still, happy to be a part of it. Bonnie Tyler, I Need a Hero. Foo Fighters, There Goes My Hero. What about Mariah Carey, Hero? How about I put that one in and trump all of them? Ronnie Coleman posed to that one year. Well, first of all, I never used the N-word. So let's get that straight. I definitely never used the N-word. I said that we shouldn't make George Floyd a martyr. He wasn't a good guy. It's sad that he died. But destroying public property and people's businesses and whatnot is unacceptable. That was what I said. No N-word came out. For show, for shizzle, my nizzle, no N-word came out. Speaking of N-word, Snoop Dogg, Young, Wide, and Free, or Afro Man, because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. Afro Man on that one. Bugsy, good movie. Or LA Confidential in 1997. I liked Bugsy a lot. Good movie. Good movie. Nathan Hyde goes Bonnie Tyler on the other one. Okay. Hey, listen. Different strokes for different folks. That's right, Bolshoi. You remember that one. The Ronnie Coleman hero routine. Badabuka says, I was blown away seeing, oh yeah, Benton Court. Another really good one. Another really good one. Eddie Robinson was really good young also. A lot of people don't talk about Eddie Robinson, but he was good very young. Very young. How realistic is it for a natty to bench 300 for the average man? I benched 300 as a junior in high school, natural, so I don't think it's that hard. And then senior year in a competition, drug-tested competition, I benched 330 at 195 pounds. So I think if you start training young and, you got the genetics for it. I think it just depends on what kind of circle that you're in. I I played football, so everybody was lifting heavy. And I trained at a bodybuilding gym. But the gym that I trained at was owned by a powerlifter, a very serious drug-free powerlifter, and they held drug-free, drug-tested powerlifting meets at that gym. So, you know, I had a buddy, Tony Biasetti, 165-pound powerlifter that could bench over 300 pounds. You know, these are just strong guys. These are drug-free guys that were strong. The owner, Rob, he competed at 242, benched in the mid-threes. You know, it's just a matter of where you're coming up with it. Now, here's the thing. A lot of it has to do with your build. Because a lot of the powerlifters that I trained with were very short guys, short arms, they were strong. They were built for it. I was a little on the taller and lankier side, you know, to be 5'11", 195 when I was doing it. Harsh Times with Christian Bale. Great movie. I'm trying to think of Harsh Times. What movie was that? Tell me about it. Give me the plot a little bit. Dom, what's going on? I'm going to go shoot a film today. Little quick film. 2 o'clock with Chris Luke. Sean was dating with Tanya Knight in the 80s. Yes, I remember that. But according to rumors, Lonnie Keeper told her that dating a black guy will negatively affect her career. That's crazy. I wonder how true that is. Badamuka says I bench 255 natural at 165. Yes, see? I'm telling you, it's not impossible. Any advice for benching 300 with long arms? I'm 6'3", 235. Okay, so you're tall and long arms. Yep, at 80-inch reach. I bench 280 at 264, but don't want to get heavy again. Well, listen, when you train for strength, powerlifting, moving weight, it's a completely different style of training than to bodybuild. So you've got to curtail your workouts to that. So being strong, there's a lot that goes into the specifics of learning to move the weight. Technique can add pounds onto how much you press. Repetition, meaning the amount that you practice these exercises. So you have to start mastering the exercises, especially for your body, your biomechanics, to move the weight. When you do that, you start practicing lockouts, negatives, all these things to really master that movement. Now, that's a completely different animal. It's a completely different style of training. And if it's a personal thing that you really want to achieve, then you set your focuses on that, do research on it, talk with other powerlifters, other great bench pressers, hand positioning, elbow positioning, the arch of your back. There's all these things that come into play on being a good bench presser. But remember that moving a weight very heavy one time doesn't do anything for actually building your body. You're building strength on that exercise, which for me isn't what I'm interested in, you know? So for me, I wanted to build my body and sculpt my body as much as I possibly could. And moving things heavy one time don't factor into that. In fact, they often hinder that because you beat yourself up trying to do those 1-rep maxes. Bolshoi, are Red Hot Chili Peppers around the world or Queens of the Stone Age? 'Cause no one knows. I like Queens of the Stone Age on that one. Kevin Jones, what is up? Elton John, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or Genesis, Jesus, he knows me. Elton John on that one. To be honest, nothing beats that country boy strength, and some of the greats have that. I'll give you guys an example. At one of the powerlifting competitions we had in the gym, Derek Poundstone showed up I believe he's a year younger than me. Maybe he was 18, 19 at the time. I mean, dude, he did some crazy numbers that day. It was his first powerlifting meet. He had already been messing around with the strongman stuff. I think he benched 455, 435, 445. I mean, this is raw. He deadlifted, I think, over 700. Some people are just strong, man. And they were like, drug test him, and he passed the drug test. So, you know, he went on to be America's strongest man twice. Came out of friggin' Waterbury, Connecticut, just a strong-ass dude. That's that country boy strength that we're talking about. Your theory regards pushing Dorian in the 90s because he's white. Has some sense of you. Notice almost zero covers of magazines in the 80s. Readers did with Haney. Majority with Gaspari in 90s. Yeah, that's a good point when you think about it. Very good point. If you care about strength, use a big arch and row into your chest. Use foot drive and train for strength. I ran a 5-3 run program for years. I'm 6'2", bench 335 natty at 18. That's good. That's very good. 335 natty at 18 is very, very, very strong, especially when you're tall. Very, very strong. You know, the crazy thing is when I was powerlifting, my bench was my worst lift. And once I got seriously serious with my bodybuilding, it became my best lift. But because I got so good and profound with it and got carried away with it, that's the exercise that I've injured myself the most on, where now I don't mess with it at all. You know, there was a day, maybe like a month ago, where just for shits and giggles, I did a couple sets with 135 and then 185, just to see how my shoulder was feeling. But like I said, that's not, the way I train now is all about trying to build a complete body, which is very difficult with all the injuries I have and limitations that I have. So a lot more thought has to go into the way that I train now. The Buggles video with the video killed the radio stars. Good song. Video killed the radio stars. Or the Trumps, Disco Inferno. Are we talking about, I heard somebody say burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn. Burn 'em mother down. If that's what we're talking about, Disco Inferno, definitely. Girl Next Door movie, isn't it the movie where Geeks meets with the girl who used to do Triple X video? Yes, back then when it was like taboo to be a cute girl doing that. Now everybody on your street, there's probably 5 girls in here with OnlyFans now. Do I know anybody who trained at Westside Barbell? So the guy from my gym, who was one of the best powerlifters on the team, came from Westside Barbell, and most of the protocols that we were doing when I was a teenager were old, like Louis Simmons workouts. That was essentially how I learned to train in my teens. And these guys were, powerlifting was their life, man. Was their life. Hope all those guys are doing good. All those guys up there from Connecticut. Haven't talked to any of them in many, many years. Derek, the same age, yes, okay, so, like I said, maybe at the time I had already turned 19 and he was 18, but man, was he strong. PG, give us another disturbing Bleckman story. You know, Steve Bleckman gave me some very good advice too. When Aaron and I started to do really well with Blackstone Labs, he said to us, "I'm really proud of you guys. I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't go crazy just putting out product after product after product. Have one or two SKUs that you get behind and you put all your marketing into making them huge, and you'll have a lot more success that way." So we pretty much did the opposite of what he said and did have success. However, I do think there's a lot of truth to what he said, because we didn't ever have one product that was like a true home run. We had a company that hit a home run. And now maybe Aaron took a little bit of that at Redcon, and that's why he decided to go all out with the Redcon energy drinks, which I hear he's doing very well with. So if you think about the example of, like, for instance, Hydroxycut, right? Muscle Tech had all these products, but Hydroxycut, they spun that Hydroxycut off and really got behind making Hydroxycut, the name, just monstrous. And you got Hydroxycut Light, Hydroxycut Hardcore, whatever. But that Hydroxycut, man, everybody knows Hydroxycut. When I was in prison, guys were trying to smuggle Hydroxycut in. Mannequin, 1987, good movie. Or Beaches with Bette Midler, sad movie, right? Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I would like to be. Beaches, I'm going with, sad movie. Broken Board, Harsh Times. This is a story about two friends down on their luck. One of them is ex-soldier with serious PTSD. Despite its serious nature, there are some funny situations in the first half. Harsh Times, okay? I look for it. Do I think I could still take 3 wheels for a ride on the bench? If I practiced for a while, possibly. But I'm telling you, my shoulders are very bad. So I'm extremely limited in what I can do. I can handle a decent amount of weight on dumbbells because I have to hold them a certain way with my wrists turned in a little bit, which I wouldn't be able to do, obviously, on the bench press. So I'd be scared to do it. Grease or West Side Story? Definitely Grease, baby. Definitely Grease. Saw yesterday that Bill Kazmaier is raising money for his heart surgery, crying on his Instagram. They need 100K now, 36K. So sad to witness a legend who gave his life for the sport in this situation. Man, that's terrible. What surgery does he need, Bolshoi? Did I know that Louis Simmons passed away? Yes, I did know that. I did know that. Legendary Louis Simmons. Did Palumbo teach me baby talk with Boggs? No, but he does have a good baby talk with his babies. I remember back in the day going over there and being kind of like blown away by Dave's baby talk with Abby and Bella back in the day. I will look into that, Bolshoi. Where is the GoFundMe stuff, Bolshoi? Robbie Robinson said all Weider supplements were 100% trash. They probably were, if you think about that time period. Starship, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, or Duran Duran, Notorious. That Starship song is a very good song. I'm going Starship there. I probably would have went with Duran Duran if you gave me a little Hungry Like the Wolf. Do you think strong trap and lats make heavy benching way easier? I think that there's a lot that comes into play. Absolutely. When it comes to having a good bench press. Especially when you really learn to get a really good arch. Lock your scapula in tight. And the thicker you are through your traps and your lats, when you lock yourself in like that, you're going to have a stronger firing platform from the back. But listen, when you learn to get your hip drive in place, that initial drive into the floor with your heels, that explosiveness, core comes into play with that. I mean, there's a lot that comes into play. Now, we also have some of these guys that are just crazy ass strong. They just press it. What do you think of the Highlander movies? I had some of my first boners to those movies. I've been waiting for a Highlander remake. Absolutely. They were definitely good movies for their time period. They have a nice cult following too, which I appreciate. Yes, messy hair. I didn't shave at all week. And today it was cold and I wasn't feeling great this morning. My stomach was kind of off. Had a little bit of the runs this morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw on my Quadro flannel, take the dogs outside for a little while and get into it. Didn't George Michael make the No way. George Michael made the soundtrack for the Highlander movies? That would be crazy if that's true. Eagle-Eyed Cherry, Save Tonight. Or Supergrass, Moving. Oh, good song by Supergrass. Definitely Supergrass. What brand is that waist belt you use to contract the muscles? It's called Supmogo. If you Google it, Supmogo. Somebody gave it to me, actually, when I got out of prison, and apparently they've been on back order for many months. So good luck. Good luck with it. LeBron said he only used classic music, so his posing routines could never be dated. Smart choice. I seen a dude go to Ghostbusters. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, Labrada's routines were fantastic. Fantastic. Much different than Hunter. I saw something where Hunter basically said he never really put the time into those routines like his dad did. He was all about mastering the, mandatory poses. Dad put a lot of time into the art of it. I have a lot of respect for guys that do that. I got one of those lather brushes from the 50s for shaving. It's pretty cool, actually. Does it work good? Guano Apes, big in Japan, or Rasmus in the Shadows. I don't know either of those, Bullshoy. Give me more information. That was a tricky one. Guano Apes, big in Japan, or Rasmus in the Shadows. I don't know. And both of those aren't ringing a bell with me. What happened to Turn Worm Nate? I don't know. All right, I'm at 48. They're called the Rasmus. Their songs. What kind of music is it? What weight and how many reps for big biceps? So listen, most important for bicep training, a lot of people go way too heavy when they train their biceps. They're hoisting the weight around, they're using a lot of anterior delt, a lot more forearm and brachioradialis than they need to. So the key with training your biceps to make them grow is using the correct form. Now you want to hit your biceps. Here's a little tip, guys. If you want your biceps to grow. Because I see a lot of people will do repetitive movements in the gym. You want to have your bicep in 3 different elbow positions through every workout. So if you only do 3 exercises, make sure you have your elbow in 3 different positions. One, the most normal one, is by your side. Barbell curls, which I don't love. Standing curls, seated curls, alternating curls. Elbow by your side. Number 2, you want to always do an exercise where your elbow is behind you. How do you do that? Get on an incline where your elbows are behind you. Incline curls, that deep stretch when your elbows are behind you. Really, really, really important. And then number 3, you want to do something where your elbows are in front of you. How do you do something with your elbow in front of you? Preacher curls, concentration curls on your leg. elbow in front of you. So your bicep is working in these 3 different planes. You're working it from multiple angles, and you always want to think about one thing when you're doing your curls, and that is supinating your wrist as much as possible. So what does that mean, right? If you don't know what prone versus supine means. So if I have my hand neutral like this, to supinate it, it is to turn it out as far as I possibly can. That's as far as I can go. You might be more flexible than me. That's actually what your biceps function is. Your biceps primary function is supination. So your biceps function is like this when you turn a door handle to go through. There's a lot of muscles involved in lifting your arm up. Depending on which way you're lifting it, your chest will bring your arm across your body. The anterior delt is involved in lifting the arm in front. The brachioradialis and forearm muscles control weight like this. But your bicep does this. So this is what you want to be focused on as much as possible. And that was a good question. And I'm getting ready to roll up out of her. But I like to train my biceps in a little bit higher rep range than everything else. So it's rare that I go less than 10 reps. Really more of a 12 to even 25 rep range on the higher side. Late Eugene Mission talked smack on Kevin LeBron on Russian forums that Kev is gay, and story how Kai Green was following him and his wife to tan Eugene during contests. Did you witness anything on? No, I never did. Eugene was a really cool guy, though. I liked Eugene a lot. Some dude, I agree with you on that one. Emo rock. I don't know if I know him. Maybe if I heard the songs. Lord Huron, The Night We Met, or Parasuite, Let It Go. How did we get into Finland with The Rock today? This is my last one that I'm taking that I'm getting out of here, guys. You only do incline moves for chest, and you think as we age, we have more possibilities to have man boobs. Is there any sense doing flat presses after 35? I think regardless of age, that focusing on the incline movements is better for your chest anyway. When you're completely flat, there's a lot of support that comes in, of course, with the anterior delt anyway. And I'm not saying that flat exercises aren't good. You know, I do the pec deck, which I guess you could consider a flat exercise in most of my workouts. And I don't have any problem, with flat flies either, but it's just so much harder to build all this up here, which I think is why we should focus more on these incline exercises. It's, weight naturally sits here. So, you see when you gain weight, it starts to go here. And as you get older, it can get droopier. So we want to focus on building this as big as possible, having that upper chest shelf so everything looks nice and round and not slope down at the bottom. That's funny. I didn't know that about Eugene. You guys always let me know about the good ensign stuff. Thank you, some dude. You guys have a great day. Guys, I appreciate you coming in here. You're right. We did not talk about UFC. Let's talk about UFC real quick before I poop my pants. So I will admit, I'm gonna, be honest. I said that Merab was gonna lose. I was pretty confident that Merab was gonna lose. And man, at this point, I don't think anybody is gonna beat him for a while. Nobody has an answer for the level of cardio that he has. He has such an insane pace and tempo that he just wears everybody out. And I actually thought he leveled up even more in this fight. He's consistently gotten better. So he made me eat my words on that. I was like, there's no way Umar loses to Merab. Now, the main event went exactly how I thought it was going to go. And listen, I love Renato Moicano. He's an exciting guy to watch, but nobody is coming in and beating Islam anyway, especially not on short notice. Especially not. He is just a beast. So it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. The best fight of the night was the Yuri and Jamal Hill fight. That was an awesome fight. And they put on a great show. I was rooting for Yuri. Man, Yuri makes you really, really nervous to be a fan of him. You know, just going in there with his head like this and just narrowly missing shots that could have slept him a few times. But his style is really exciting. It was a great fight to watch. But it was a pretty good night overall of fights, I thought. Yeah, not disappointing, that's for sure. But all right, you guys have a wonderful day. What do I think of adding a spoon of MC2 oil to your morning coffee? I don't think that it's necessary. I mean, I know guys that used to put butter in their coffee in the morning. The whole bulletproof trend got popular for a while. I don't even drink coffee most days. I drink coffee today, Wednesday, because I don't have a pre-workout. I just slam my pre-workout and I go. That's my caffeine for the day. Ilya Gollum was giving interviews in USA and then blaming U.S. for war in Ukraine, so all these rest in peace by Dave don't have sense. Hey, man, Islam might want to go that way at this point. He's done it all in this division. He's done it all. And that may be more exciting. But anyway, thank you guys for doing this with me. I appreciate it. Be on the lookout for the new video that we do. I'll probably do a funny little reel today with the cookies. I got to bring Marissa some cookies. But yeah, I appreciate you. Check out the ab video that we posted yesterday. Ab training. Simplified it for you guys. Sticks, Boat on the River, or Pink Floyd's Shine You Crazy Diamond. I used to love Pink Floyd growing up. Got a lot of great memories with Pink Floyd. I'm going Pink Floyd on that one. And that's it. Keith, peace out, guys. Scatman, Bolshoi, love you guys. God bless you all. I will be shaved tomorrow. I promise. Clean up my act. I would have got yelled at in the program I was in prison walking around like this. Love you guys. Bye.